It's Frank. Frank. Mr. Frank. I just want you to know, I think you're the best ever.
In your neighborhood, there's a place so good. It's so nice to be at a store meant for me. The feeling of family, you have to agree.
Wow, thanks, Fareway, Frank.
Welcome to Fareway, your Fareway family.
Spring has sprung in the great state of Iowa, and if you've been thinking about getting outdoors with your family during the best time of year, we want to help you here at Plaza RV. We are a locally owned RV dealer in Bondurant who cares about our customers before, during, and most importantly, after your purchase. Give us a chance. We will treat you like family. Buy local. Buy from Plaza RV.
Shane Gillis, live on stage.
I'm a bit of a history buff, which, by the way, that is early onset Republican.
His biggest tour ever is coming to Des Moines.
You're a white dude in your 20s and 30s, and you're like, I can't stop reading about World War II. It's coming, bro.
See Shane Gillis with his unmistakable comedic style. Live in Wells Fargo Arena Saturday, May 31st. Get tickets now at iowaeventcenter.com. For more, visit ShaneMGillis.com.
Two guys, two Chris's, one network. Iowa Everywhere. It's time for Two Guys with Chris Williams and Chris Hassel. Presented by Fareway Meat and Grocery from the Channel Seed Studios. Where? Everywhere. Live and always on demand at Iowa Everywhere.
What is up? Welcome to Chris and Chris, Two Guys here on Iowa Everywhere. We are presented by Fareway Meat and Grocery. We are live in the Channel Seed Studios. Don't do this very often. Right now, I'm going to ask you to go onto our YouTube page and hit the subscribe button. Because what you're doing when you do that is you're telling the algorithm to share our content more. That's what that does. And that helps us grow. And we want locally owned media to do well, right? So thank you. Go ahead and do that.
New music today. What's going on?
You like it?
Well, for some reason there was a copyright thing with our old music, so we had to change it.
Yeah. We had used that. That was like, I think that might have been our original music, background music, and we didn't really own the rights to it. Well, we did, but somehow YouTube flagged it. And it's weird. Sometimes like music copyright changes owners.
Yeah.
And it's
well,
weird.
because
YouTube
we have
flags things for random reasons. So
we have a subscription to a service of uncopyrighted music, but then it will like get all janky. You never really know. So, anyways, dude,
I am a little more rocky. Rock.
Yeah. It was actually Greg Sankey sent a cease and desist letter to us at our Iowa Everywhere headquarters that he owns that music. So,
dude, I'm a mess. I just dropped my daughter off at preschool for the last time, her final day of preschool, and
what? Hang on a second. I thought she already graduated preschool.
Well,
you went to a graduation 2 weeks ago.
That was last week. This was her final day.
Wait,
and
she graduated before her final day?
I was a mess. Like, I absolutely caused a scene.
Okay, why?
Because I've been taking her to this place since she was an infant, and it's like this, like now you're going into this like new era, and she's all grown up, and it just like I don't know. I was like sobbing on my way out of there. The little kids are looking at me. Is he okay? Did somebody die? Like it was just a total disaster.
I think we need to get Williams back to game day for that hormone replacement or whatever.
No, I'm gonna
ask. Need any more hormones?
I'm gonna ask Lindsay.
Resetting. That's what it was.
I'm gonna ask Lindsay today if I could double my dose of the estrogen blocker. I don't want any estrogen.
So how long has she been going to this preschool for?
Well, it's a daycare facility that also has a preschool in it. So she's been going there since 2021.
So you're just sad because you won't be going back there to drop her off.
No, it's just an end of an era. Yeah, like you start to appreciate the people, and like they're like they're caretakers. Okay. Like it's a man.
Fine. I can accept that.
I knew that you would give me no sympathy and you'd just be a total dick about it. That's why I
just
brought
told
it
you,
up,
I'll
because I
accept
needed
it.
to get into the fuck Greg Sankey mode, and you just got me in it. Let's go.
Hey,
Welcome
Kyle
to the
says
show.
in the comments, good morning and fuck Sankey.
Boy, what a week they've had down at their 5-star hotel.
And it's still going. I mean, there's going to
Florida.
be more stuff coming out today.
Yeah, I wish we could have done this show at like 4, to be honest, because I think that there'll be a lot more coming up.
The good
Big
news
12
is
is meeting right now. The Big Ten just doesn't even. The Big Ten. This is what's so disgusting. They just fall in line with the SEC. Whatever the SEC wants, just let them have it. Which I guess, I'd love to talk with Jim Delaney and see what he thinks about all this.
if more stuff comes out today, I'm sure they'll hit it on Legends and Listeners. They're going to go live at 3.
Awesome.
Today.
Thanks to those guys and Aiden for doing that. That'll be great to have that live today, to all sorts of reaction from all this stuff.
And it's a big day for schedule releases as well. I know we are releasing our CBS Big Ten schedule later on today. And so I think they'll be discussing a lot of that a little bit later on Legends and Listeners.
So what has your overall reaction been to all this stuff, Chris? I did a CW pod monologue on it 2 days ago. I think most people know where I stand. We really haven't learned much. It's just been a lot of talk. I think there's not I guess a bunch of news that has come out of this, but Sankey's clearly very defensive with everything. That he's in defense mode. I think that this is a guy, and I can relate, not relate to him, but I will, if I put myself in his shoes, he's in a tough spot because his job is to look out for what's best of the SEC, not for the entire college football universe.
But the problem is they have all the power, so they're going to be deciding what the future is for college football as a whole.
A friend texted me yesterday, and it is really good. It's like a real world. The Big Ten and the SEC are oligarchs, essentially, and you either get in line or they can kill you. Is basically how this is going.
You made a good point that you just don't hear much publicly from the Big Ten, from Tony Petitti. But I know behind the scenes, Petitti, is a big reason why, maybe the main reason why, we've had this push for a 4-4-2-2-1, because he wants those 4 automatic bids so that he can have his baby, which is the play-in games on championship weekend. And you can't have play-in games unless you have at least 3, maybe 4 automatic qualifiers. So if this 5-11, the other version that we're talking about, he's not going to be able to do that. So there still are differences in what the SEC wants and what the Big Ten wants. I think the Big Ten wants those play-in games more. The SEC wants to stick with 8 conference games more. And if the SEC doesn't get their way, they are going to, if it goes to the 5+11, they're going to try to stay at 8 conference games, where the Big Ten's playing 9. So I think that there might be some kind of standoff between the SEC and the Big Ten eventually because of that. I don't know if they're in lockstep the entire way. And one thing that has happened this week is it seems as though Sankey has been more willing, at least publicly, to accept this 5+11, which is 5 automatic qualifiers from the 5 highest ranked conference champions, and then 11 at large. And I know some people believe that that's what he wants all along. That if there's 11 at large, the SEC might get even more than 4 every year. Now, it's my belief that if we go to the 4-4-2-2-1, where the SEC and the Big Ten each get 4 AQs, that the SEC is still going to end up with probably 5 at least every year anyway, because they're still going to get at-large bids. So I don't know that they're going to get more than that. I just think the majority of people understand that that is the more fair process, that there shouldn't be these guarantees. You could have a down year. You could. You could have a down year where you don't have 4 worthy teams, but you're just going to shoehorn them in? Or you're going to have a 6th-place team. This is the scenario that I can't get out of my head with these play-in games and why they should not be a thing. You could have, let's just say in the Big Ten, Iowa finishes 6th at 8-4. And the 3rd-place team is Penn State at 11-1. Penn State already beat Iowa in the regular season. Now you're saying that if Penn State doesn't beat Iowa again, that Iowa's going to get an automatic bid over you Iowa would be 9-4 and 1-1 against Penn State. Penn State would be 11-2 and they wouldn't get it. It doesn't make any sense. Why is that game, this arbitrary game, going to supersede what you actually did in the regular season? So I hope these play-in games don't become a thing, because that is a real possibility where you're going to diminish the regular season even more.
Yeah, and that leads me up to a point that I've been thinking about this a lot. We haven't really talked about it much. Inevitably, a lot of times when the changes come in college football, people will just compare it to the NFL and be like, well, they don't do it in the NFL that way. Well, that's not how they do it there. And I think that's kind of the point. Like, the last thing, in my opinion, we want is to become a mini NFL.
We already have the NFL.
Yeah, and this will never be better than that.
No.
This will never be better than that. Like, that's why I like college basketball. Like, I'm very fearful of what it's going to become through all this, because it's like, dude, like, I know we're not big NBA fans, but watch the Eastern Conference Finals tonight. Watch the basketball, and then compare it to a Big 12 game. Like, you ain't even close to that product, right? But what makes it fun is the way college basketball's set up, and how you get to the postseason, and we can watch the net rankings, and right, like, all these things. Put it all together, and that's what makes it fun. It's not the actual. So, like, if it gets down to it and there's like 20 teams, there's a 20-team Super League, and we're the mini NFL, you ain't going to win. Like, sure, those teams will watch, but like a guy like me, I won't watch that. Like, I'll watch whatever division Iowa and Iowa State are in, and then I'll watch the NFL on Sundays. Like, you've got to.
And it's going to hurt both products. I mean, it's going to. There won't be 60,000 people at Jack Trice Stadium anymore.
No. You know what this reminds me of? And don't. I think you can attest to this, because you grew up, and I've been watching that Dale Earnhardt documentary on Prime, which is phenomenal, by the way. What college football is doing reminds me of what my favorite sport, NASCAR, because these are my 2 favorite sports, college football and NASCAR. And do you remember NASCAR back when we were kids, how big it was? Like when Jeff Gordon and Dale Earnhardt and massive television ratings, selling out. Like, it was 5 times bigger than it is today. Right. And they just kept expanding, and they kept moving, and they're like, we got to get to these markets, and we got to do this, and we got to do that. And eventually the fan base was like, fuck this. Because they completely spread it out so much, and they're like, oh, we're going to change the way we crown a champion after however many years. Because we got to be more like, what did the old NASCAR guy said? We got to create Game 7 moments.
Right.
You're not a stick and
PGA
ball
Tour
sport.
has tried that as well, and they continue to tweak it to this very moment.
Right.
It's
like,
not
so
working.
I'm not anti-playoff here, but what I'm saying is, like, it goes back to that Dan Wetzel thing I talked about on Monday. Like, this is a symphony, and if you take the percussion out of the symphony, it sounds pretty freaking weird. And I think that's what we're all talking about here, is it takes all these parts, and you can't just be like, we're going to be a farm system, the NFL. Like, kind of like the G League is to the NBA, and nobody gives a shit. Now, I'm not going that far. Obviously, it wouldn't be that low of a product, but you see what I'm saying. Like, it's not just about the quality of play on the field. Like, the AFL is better. You know, those teams would beat these college teams for the most part. Like, those are professional grown men, but we're still not paying attention to it in the spring because we don't have all these attachments to it emotionally and traditionally. So you have to find a way to don't do what NASCAR did, because when NASCAR grew, they threw all of its tradition out the window. And all this stuff that like tied my grandpa to it and my dad to it and me to it. And
IndyCar did something extremely similar that had even worse effects.
Yeah,
in the mid-90s, when they completely split the sport in two, which is kind of where we're going right now. What did Brian Kelly say yesterday? We only want to play Big Ten games in the non-con. Like, this is where we're going. We're going to block everybody else out. We're going to play Big Ten games. We're going to play Big Ten opponents. And they're not going to give the ACC and the Big 12 a chance anymore.
I sympathize with 𝗀cie, and because they are carrying the water pail for everybody. I get it, but you have to be able to look past just the surface level at what some unintended consequences, and I think we're already seeing them. I mean, we are it's been okay, like, here so far, like what Pate was saying, and we talked, like, Saturday still, like, all that, but it's not the case everywhere.
Huh.
Right? Like, it's not the case and you have to be careful. I think some unintended consequences down the road would be retraction, honestly. Like, I don't know if Purdue's going to be safe.
Yeah.
In a new, right? You have to, like, think beyond, like, because when is enough?
It'll never be enough.
Yeah. And then, like, because the next thing's going to be like, well, okay, so now it's like we got rid of the Big 12 and we got rid of the ACC and we're all making more, but we need more now because Ohio State's spending this much on their roster and Texas is spending this much in the arms race. Well, where do you go when you've already done all that? Well, you start cutting teams. And it's just like nobody wants a second NFL. We already have the best sports product in the world on Sundays in this country. You've got to lean into what makes you special.
Why is college football so valuable? Why are we paying these institutions as much as we are, donating so much money to them, and paying these players as much as we are? It's because tradition. It's because we grew up going to these games. We grew up watching these games. Our parents, our grandparents. This is not. We don't do it because we just are in love with how great they play the game on the field. We're still going to games even when the team sucks. I mean, I watched Deacon Hill out there for a year. That was atrocious. I was still a fan. You know?
Yeah. You were still just as passionate about that team as you were the Iowa team that went undefeated in 2015.
Mm-hmm. And we continue the further and further we go down this line, we continue to get further and further away from why we really love the sport. And I think those moments that we discussed, the Josh Pate, if it's 4th and 1 and Michigan's in town, does it still feel the same? Well, yeah, but those moments are becoming fewer and further between.
Mm-hmm.
Because most of the time it's not Michigan. Most of the time it's not Ohio State. Most of the time, I mean, you might see those schools come through your building once a decade. It's Maryland or it's Rutgers or it's Arizona or TCU. I mean, it just doesn't feel the same most of the time, much of the time. Like, you used to get every other year Ohio State would come to Kinnick Stadium. Every other year. And now it's just not the same, because there's a special feeling. There is a different feeling when Ohio State is in your building compared to if it's Maryland, you know? It's different. It is. There are moments where it feels the same. But I'm afraid those moments are
Well,
getting spread out.
And what we've done with these regional rivalries, like you can, Iowa fans can mock Iowa State all you want. Like it feels different when they're in Kinnick compared.
It does,
to
and I think that one's going away. If we keep
Like
going down this path, that we won't play that game in 5 years.
And it goes the other way too. Iowa State fans can say all they want. Like that game captures something like a different type of emotion. Just like the backyard brawl did. Just like Oklahoma, Nebraska used to. Just like, all of these different rivalries that we've lost. And this isn't just an SEC thing. Like we're destroying the soul of the sport. And I'll go back to what we've done that with NASCAR, right? Like by great example on Saturday, the Coca-Cola 600, the guy who won got out of the car and he goes, "I just won the World 600." Well, that's an old school NASCAR to like what that race used to be.
Mm-hmm.
And we've completely lost track of it because they've got 6 sponsors in front of it, right? And it feels different. And I'm sorry, I understand most people don't. I'm not trying to shove NASCAR down your throats. It's just what I'm passionate about, and I'm passionate about college football. And I see the same thing happening where you've gotten so big for your britches that you start to think that you're something that maybe you're not. And I don't want this sport to go down the same path.
I think another reason that it makes it feel different, just ask an Ohio State fan, is all of these different TV slots now. You used to play your games.
Great point.
At 1 p.m. on Saturday. And you would get into a routine, and now it's all over the place. You're playing games, Big Ten, you're playing games on Friday nights. Ohio State's playing every game at noon. There's a different feeling when every game is at noon. It's different. The big games are supposed to be later on in the day. It doesn't work like that anymore. TV's changed all that because of money.
We want to talk about unintended consequences. Here's a take for you. And I've never thought about this until you just said that. Why do you think the Pac-12 actually died?
A lot of
Trick
it's
question.
Because of where they are. I mean, they were playing games so late at night.
That's the thing. So they get these TV deals because they got to get the money. And the TV's like, well, you got to play every game at night.
And the fans hated it.
Every game at night. And they quit going.
Mm-hmm.
There's still a lot of Pac-12 football fans, but they quit going. And what are you supposed to do if you're the Pac-12? Well, this is a TV-dominated sport. We have to make revenue because of where we're at in the country. We can't play our games at 1 o'clock all the time because the people who pay us need us to play later. But eventually the fans quit going. It's not that Stanford doesn't have football fans. No, Stanford, like that fan base is not going to be up at 9 o'clock every Saturday night during the year. Like they just quit going to games. Even when they were good with Harbaugh and Shaw, like they didn't go. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they did it to themselves. And like, can you blame them? They had to keep up with everybody else. And this is the one thing that the Pac-12 had in its back pocket is its time zone, that they could get a good TV deal because of it. But they didn't, like, the fans didn't disappear. They just quit going to games because you shoved it down their throat so much, and they finally said, screw it. Like, it will happen. So this whole thing, too, it's like the lack of understanding that people have. Like, the fans fund all of this. Even if they're not directly going to the game, fans watching these games on TV is, like, without the fans.
Buying the ESPN Plus subscriptions.
Yes. Like, these people forget that. Like, they don't have to give a dime to the collective. They don't.
And I think they think that fans will just do whatever the hell they tell them to. And if they create something else that the fans have to pay for, they're going to do it. And they will to a certain extent. To a certain extent. But if we keep going down this path, that's all going to change. And just to reset kind of where we are right now, I don't know. I'm kind of 50-50 between what's actually going to happen here. And it's not going to be decided this week.
No.
This stuff is going to be decided likely months down the road, whether or not the SEC goes to 9 games, whether or not we do the 5+11 with the 11 at large, or the 4 auto bids to the Big Ten and the SEC. I think we're pretty split right now, and I think a lot of it is media posturing. I really don't know at this point what Greg Sankey would rather do. He made it seem like they wanted the 4 automatic bids.
That's a good point.
But then he pointed out that, hey, we're kind of doing you guys a favor here, because there's some years where Big 12 doesn't deserve 2 teams in this thing likely. We might get more than 4 teams in if you just rank the top 16 teams and bring those in.
All I want is debate. Isn't it the same thing as what we want, like, from our leaders in Washington, D.C.? Like, isn't it like all we want is debate? Hear both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Figure, like, I guess my
try
point
to do
is,
something that seems the most fair.
Yeah, like the two. There's no denying that the SEC and the Big Ten are in different spots. Like, I've never denied that. I don't put the Big 12 and the ACC on that. I get it. I understand all the economics. I understand it all. But to have the two superpowers, like, just in line against that's not good. Like, that would be like, yeah, we want, like, that our country was designed to have parties, like, debating. And, like, that's why I think our country kind of sucks right now, because nobody will let anybody get anything done. They will circumvent the rules to rig it, basically. Like, nobody wants to have a conversation in this country, which is why we all are trying to rip each other's heads off. And, so I think it's super healthy for the sport if the Big Ten and the SEC aren't completely in line with this. And, like, whatever they end up with this playoff, like, I think it's great if the Big Ten wants one way, the SEC wants another. Let's bring everybody else in the room and let's debate it.
Yeah. Let's not go up and, belittle the other conferences. Like, don't lecture me on what's good for the game, the coordinated press releases. Like, can we get – but the problem is the SEC and the Big Ten have all the power, so they don't really even care to hear from these other conference commissioners unless they are bringing to the table a way that is going to help them even more. Like, they don't want to hear, your Mark saying something that might help the good of the whole. They want solutions to their own problems or what they feel are problems, even though they're in a much better spot than the Big 12 and the ACC. The SEC and the Big Ten still feel like they're facing a ton of problems, and they need to face it themselves, and they can't worry about the ACC and the Big 12 and the group of 5. I just wish we could all get together. We did last week. Remember last week everybody got together and unanimously voted for the straight seeding this year. And that's only because your Mark and the ACC and the group of 5 wanted to say, hey, we did this for you. Maybe you could think of us down the road because you've got all the power.
And then on Sunday night, Sankey goes and starts launching grenades.
Right. And I think that was in direct response to what your Mark said. That
absolutely.
This isn't that straight seeding thing. This isn't good for the Big 12, and it's not. He said it's not good for the Big 12, but it's for the good of the game as a whole.
Which I agree with you, Mark, for what it's worth.
I do too.
Like, that's
Sankey
not a good
felt
thing.
like he was being lectured.
I mean, Big 12's you're going to struggle to be in a single-digit seed under that setup. I'm just being realistic. You know what we need? We need to get all the leaders of the college and get them all a bottle of Steeple Ridge bourbon. Boy, wouldn't that solve some problems?
You sit around sipping some Steeple.
Do you think that Greg Sankey would even enjoy Steeple, or would he just bitch about it? Just snarl.
I told you I only had one experience with him in person, and it was at the Texas-Alabama game 2 years ago in Tuscaloosa. And it was on an elevator,
I remember that.
And this picture of Van Woke that Van Woke puts up, it's exactly how he looked. He was standing there like a sourpuss. I don't think he wanted anybody to say anything to him. Well, somebody that was like the PR person for Barstool or something goes up to him, Mr. Commissioner, I think it was like Big Cat and the other guy with the long hair that he does the show with, PMT commenter or something like that, PFT commenter. Well, they were also in the same elevator. They're like, can I introduce you to Big Cat and PMT, PFT? And he's like, I don't know why. Like, well, they just to say hello. All right, fine. And then the kid
just
was
a
like,
curmudgeon.
all right, you can say hi to Mr. Commissioner. And Big Cat was like, hi, I'm Big Cat. And he's like, hi.
This
and
is part of the problem.
That was it. He's standing in the corner. Like,
why does the commissioner
no
of the
conversation
SEC need like a bodyguard?
But he did no. It wasn't his bodyguard. It was like the Barstool guy.
Well,
that was acting like acting like he needed to clear it with Sankey first. If they're going to say hi to him,
like he's not a god. He's a freaking college athletics commissioner.
It's so weird. It was so bizarre. But Sankey was it just felt to me like he wanted to be anywhere but right there at that very moment.
That guy's got all the power he has, but he is a villain right now, which is great. We need him to be.
I hate this bastard.
Well done, Van Winks. You know what? It would make Sankey's life a lot easier if the 𝗀𝗶𝗶 brothers could just take. I think he's stressed out because he's probably got a big house and a huge lawn, and he probably is wondering how it's going to get cared for. We should just send the 𝗀𝗶𝗶 brothers down there.
My guess is he has servants of some kind. I'm not talking I'm talking like people. I'm sure he has people waiting on him hand and foot.
Oh yeah,
and he's got people out there in his garden all day long. There's no way he doesn't. Now, I don't know if they do as good a job as the 𝗀𝗶𝗶 bros.
There's no way they do.
Something tells me Sankey wouldn't like the 𝗀𝗶𝗶 brothers.
You know Bill Hancock, right?
Yeah.
Old wild Bill Hancock. He's 74 now. He's the executive director of the college football playoff. So he used to be the guy who back in the day would fight the playoff because the bowls, right? We have to keep the blockbuster bowl relevant. Like this is critical for the we have to maintain the regular season's importance because we cannot go to a playoff because if by all means the Poinsettia Bowl is hurt by this.
If we can't send Iowa to the Outback Bowl, we're in trouble.
I had an experience so I was at Big 12 Media Days, I don't remember however many years ago. And I hated that guy. Like everything I knew about him went against everything I stood for. And I had lunch with him. And it was very pleasant. I really liked him. He was the opposite of Greg Sankey. I thought this guy was going to be he was this kind, but he doesn't have a single tooth in him though. Like you could tell he's just going to fall in line with whatever Sankey's and your marks and those guys tell him to do. It's just like, but these are just people. Like I hate, there's nothing I hate more the longer I'm in this business than like treating these sports figures like they're gods. This is how we got into this position.
Yeah, when did we start treating the ADs and commissioners like they were Michael Jordan, like the athletes out there on the court doing it?
Mr. Sankey, what do you think about the new playoff? Just fucking ask the question. All right. Anything else from that? You got anything else from that?
No, I don't think so. The only thing I'd say is, why does it have to be where we went from like 0 to 60 in in a Lamborghini. Like, we were asking for this playoff, or many of us were. We weren't asking for this gigantic 16-team playoff with all these auto bids and all this shit. Like, I would have been totally fine. Like, I liked the 4-team playoff. Thought it needed to be a little bit more. I would have been totally fine with an 8-teamer.
Yeah.
You know what? The 12-teamer last year I thought it was pretty good. Why do we have to extend it again? More money.
Yeah.
And is it going to stop at 16? I don't know that it will.
Most of this stuff, like, nobody actually asks for other than the suits that are at these 5-star hotels that want more money.
Now I'm hearing from people that were against the playoff originally. Like, well, no, we shouldn't do it. No, well, this is what you asked for. You asked for it. What'd you expect? It's like, I didn't ask for a 16-team playoff. It's like, give me 6 or 8. Like, we don't need to have teams with 4 losses in this thing. We don't. Money.
Nobody asked for this.
No. We also aren't asking for the 96-team college basketball tournament.
And that's like where I have a problem with, like, the Big 12, because it's like you stand this way in football, and then you put out a release yesterday. We are in favor of expanding the NCAA tournament.
And it might not be 96 right away, but it's going to expand, and it's going to get there. But I guess before we transition off of football, I should go long because I have something to say.
Let's go.
It's time to go long with Wealth Charter Retirement Planning and Tax.
All right.
You okay?
Matt, you want to play that video I sent you?
Oh, didn't see you there. Well, you know, all the schools, they all show me, types of love, but there's one school, show me the most love, and, I guess it's where I'm going. You ready, Coach?
Let's get it.
Is that kid in his underwear?
It's time, baby. Let's go.
I think that kid was wearing underwear.
Okay, so
who are those girls beside him?
I don't know. This was a video that made the rounds a couple of weeks ago. 5-star defensive end Richard Wesley committing to Oregon, and Dan Lanning taking off his shirt and jumping into the pool with him, doing the Oregon hand signals. And he just decommitted. Coaches resorting to this shit.
Just whoring themselves out.
Didn't Harbaugh do this a few years ago?
And Matt Rule has done stuff like this. Brian Kelly has stuff
Brian Kelly did that dance with the guy.
Yes.
Remember that?
So this is why I do not care about guys committing or how many years they have left. Because a lot of times they don't even end up coming. It's a charade. He said, Oregon showed me the most love. Well, my guess is someone else showed him more love by offering more money, and that's why he's opening it back up again to try to get more money. He's got trips to Ohio State and Texas on the schedule this summer. Like, this is, what are we doing? I understand that Iowa and Iowa State don't get that level of star. Like, they don't get those 5-star guys. But even if they did, you would not see Matt Campbell or Kirk Ferentz doing that kind of shit. It's cringe when it happens. And then to not think in the back of your mind, man, this kid's 16 years old. In a week, he might change his mind. That video lives forever. Like, what? Stop it.
Oh, I didn't even see you there.
If the kid demands that you do something like that,
yeah,
he shouldn't be coming to your program.
Yeah, it's a major red flag.
God. It's just,
that's great going
everybody
long.
Look bad. It makes everybody look bad.
How did I miss that's bad. that's bad on some like. Well, imagine Lanning. He's hanging out with his boys. Like, how pissed off he's got to be right now. I fucking jumped in the pool for that kid.
Yeah.
And
now he's probably saying, "Hey, I need
underage girls.
I need
in
another
bikinis.
million. I need another million, or I'm not coming." God. Here's the Brian Kelly video. He's like grinding with that guy in front of him. Jesus Christ.
Brian Kelly's comments.
This is not the college football I fell in love with. I'm sorry.
Hayden Fry.
It's not.
Imagine Hayden Fry jumping in a pool to land a recruit. Like Tim Dwight. All right, Coach Fry, I'll come, but I need you to do this. He's got his camcorder.
Yeah.
We need to do this video, Coach.
Need you to go rollerblading with me.
What?
I'm sorry, you aren't the young man I thought you were.
Dan McCarney's trying to recruit Todd Blythe down in Indianola at the public pool.
What would Leach have done?
Yeah.
Leach would have beat that kid's ass.
Remember when Leach, he was pissed at his team and he just took all the folding chairs on the sideline and folded them up and threw them down so they couldn't sit down?
Leach would just go in it and he'd call all their girlfriends fat.
Yeah.
God, he was
They're
great.
too concerned about their fat girlfriends.
Oh, that's good stuff. Hey, the Hawks. Hawks are coming to Des Moines. Oh, good job right there, Matt, pulling up the Leach. Matt's the best producer in the fucking country. Great job. Hawks versus Bucknell.
Yeah, so
Wells
Van
Fargo
Woke,
Arena.
he got the early heads up on this because of his connection with the Wells Fargo Arena, Iowa Event Center. And he said, "There's something coming out today." This was yesterday. Iowa men are going to be playing
Bucknell the last time they played them.
You almost guessed it right. I kept it secret from you. I didn't tell you what was
Yeah.
happening.
He's like,
And you were
Iowa
like,
men
"It's
are playing a game. I said, please tell me it's Iowa versus Penn. Let's get Fran McCaffrey back. Nah, Bucknell. What, you think Iowa lost to
Same
Bucknell,
state.
Williams?
Same state.
Matt, look that up. I
Pennsylvania.
swear the last time these two teams played, Iowa lost.
I don't
in
ever
Carver
remember
Hawkeye
Iowa
Arena.
playing Bucknell. When do you think this happened?
The only reason it wasn't that long ago. It was like 6-7 years ago. We had a 𝗀xe𝗰𝗶 thing. It was me and Murph and Andy and Ross. And we had like a brewery tour with listeners that people like going to like hang out with us. And Iowa lost to Bucknell. We were sitting at Reclaim Rails in Bondurant. I swear to God.
It says Iowa's 1-0 versus Bucknell. The Hawkeyes won 91-52 during the Bison's visit to Iowa City during the 97-98 season. So maybe it wasn't Bucknell. What year was that, Williams?
I think I would remember this if Iowa lost to Bucknell. I think I'd remember this, Williams.
I'm going to look it up. I swear it was them, but whatever. Point being, that's cool.
I
That
don't
coming
think it was.
The opponent doesn't matter here. Like, what matters is getting Ben McCullum, and like there's actual. Oh, it's Campbell. Thank you, Travis. And
Yeah, the Campbell
Charles.
Camels.
Campbell. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, guys. Appreciate that. Yeah, I remember that specific day because it ruined our patio tour or our little tour thing that we were doing because all these Hawkeye fans were just so pissed. Thank you. Yeah, it was Campbell. The Camels.
Well, look, you're right. This isn't about like look.
This is about
sure,
getting
yeah,
McCullum.
it'd be
and
awesome if
people
it was.
Yeah.
You know, they were playing a Big Ten game there, or playing Drake. But get McCullum's team in front of the Des Moines market.
Yes.
Start
Good move.
playing a yearly game in Des Moines again.
Be great if they could do a double header with the women. I don't know, like the logistics.
Yeah,
of
last
that.
year they did. Remember that last year they
just do it every year, like,
or was it 2 years ago they did? Because wasn't it a Caitlin Clark game?
It was different then with Clark. Like I think it could be more beneficial for everybody to do it even now because Clark was going to sell out no matter where she went.
Remember the controversy was Iowa posted a Des Moines hometown team or something like that after that. I think that was last year.
I got the scoop on that, by the way.
A scoop on what?
On that tweet. I met the woman who put it out, and she wasn't from like our area,
initially.
She didn't know that was Drake's slogan.
Yeah, like it wasn't like trying to be it was just a innocent thing, and then everybody just freaked out. I felt bad for her. It was a very innocent thing, and all the Drake fans lost. I'm pretty sure I made fun of it. I know we did on this show. No, that's good. I'm makes a lot of sense on all parties.
I was thinking about this too. I almost would rather not have them play a marquee game at Wells Fargo Arena in Des Moines. I would rather, if it's going to be a marquee game, play it in Iowa City. Like that, you're going to have a better home court advantage at Carver than you will at Wells Fargo Arena. It's not like it is when they play in Sioux Falls or in the Quad Cities. Like I don't know. It's the way the stadium is built. It's not like the fans aren't right on top of you. It's more of a corporate setting.
We are fans of big games on campus.
Absolutely.
Like we're talking about this 16-team playoff. We better have more games on campus. Like
this is just a day for people in Des Moines to be able to see this team close up, for this team to kind of move around the state a little bit and see Ben McCullum's team. It doesn't need to be this huge game. It's just a game. And actually, Bucknell, pretty sure they won the Patriot League last year.
Yeah, they're a good team.
They're not a bad team. Like I'm not
Iowa
saying
has a mid-major roster, so
yeah, I mean Drake Bucknell would have probably been a decent regular season game last year. Who knows how they are this year? I have no clue. They did not make the tournament. I think they got beat in their.
Are they in
their
McCaffrey's league?
No. McCaffrey's in the Ivy League. This is the Patriot
Ivy League. Duh. I knew that.
They tied. They shared the title with American University, but it's a lot of similar schools. I mean, I get a Colgate. A lot of people think Colgate's an Ivy League school. It's not. Boston University. That's not an Ivy League school. They're in the Patriot League. Holy Cross, Patriot League. David watching from Muscatoon, Iowa. Thank you.
Thanks, David.
We're all over the state today. Muscatoon.
We had somebody logging in from Cancun this morning over coffee.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, somebody saw that earlier.
My sister was just in Cancun.
Is that the one that threw up the steak all over you? And
No, it's not. That's your go-to along with anytime I mention a sister, you mention that. Anytime I mention a friend, you ask about the Oreo cookies.
It sounds like the Big 12 is going to go back to 18 conference games in basketball.
Yeah, well, it's official now. That had been talked about the last few weeks, that it was likely going to happen. I believe yesterday, on Wednesday, it became official. And we are bouncing around so much with these things. They did the 20-game conference season last year because they added, the four corner schools and all that. I don't know how I feel about this. The reason they did it, or the reason the Big 12 says they're doing this, going from 20 to 18, is because they want to give the teams more of a rest during the grind of the post-Christmas season, January, February, March. So now you're going to get 2 more off days, 2 more games off. But are you going to replace those games with 2 decent games? Probably not. Maybe 1. Hopefully that you replace one of them with a good non-conference game. But what this also does is this also means you're going to see less of the original Big 12 teams.
Yeah, I don't like this.
It's going to be less of Kansas and Kansas State.
If anything, I'd rather them just do what the Big 10 does and play those games in December. It's like a pre... I don't like this because I don't trust these coaches to schedule well. I mean, some of them will, but more often than not, these are going to be bye games that they'll replace them with.
They better not both be bye games. You better one of those games that you're getting back better be a good non-conference game, or this is a mistake. It's so watered down already.
The way the whole thing is set up, especially if they're going to expand the tournament, they're not going to.
Oh God,
I don't think most of these coaches are going to be like, oh, let's go and schedule an SEC team. I just don't.
I think it'll be let's get another SWAC team, and so I don't like it. I'd rather play the conference games, and I do understand their point. Like, having gone through that last year, never having a bye week is hard during that stretch, but just play the games earlier like the Big Ten does.
Gary Parrish put out his very latest rankings for next season. I just wanted to quiz you on where you thought some. Don't pull it up, Van Woke.
I haven't looked at this. This is.
I just want to quiz you on some of the where you think that these teams might fall in his.
And this is Gary Parrish's like preseason poll.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'll keep it mostly Big 12, Big 10 centric. Okay. Which just might as well just start with Iowa State. Where do you think he has Iowa State?
15th.
Close, 13th.
Okay.
Iowa State 13th. Iowa, by the way, not ranked. Let's go to some of the other Big 12 schools that you think are going to be picked to not only win the Big 12, but maybe to go all the way. Where do you think he has Houston?
1. Because they got the kid coming back.
Interestingly enough, he just dropped them from 1 to 2.
Oh.
Who do you think he has 1 right now?
It's a Big 12 school?
No, I didn't say that.
Oh, okay. It's got to be an SEC team.
It's not.
Auburn?
It's not an SEC team.
I was going to say Bama. So it's probably a big Duke.
It's not an ACC team.
Iowa?
I said Iowa's not even ranked. It is St. John's.
Wow.
St. John's number 1.
I was
Houston number 2.
Wow. Okay.
Who is number 3?
BYU?
BYU.
Yeah.
Which goes to what you've been saying.
They're going to be really good, man.
That's
wow.
They return.
Dude, they're loaded.
Richie Saunders.
They got that NBA coach.
And they get A.J. DeBansta, and they're paying him $8 million, the 5-star freshman coming in.
I don't think most fans in the Big 12
I don't think so either.
Are prepared for what BYU is
so
going to be in the next era.
Where do you think he has Texas Tech?
Top 10.
Yep.
7th?
7. The highest-ranked Big Ten team is Purdue at 4. The defending champion Florida Gators are 6th. Again, this is Gary Parrish's
Boy, what a non-con
look ahead.
Iowa State at Purdue this year.
Wow. Yeah, what a game. Jeez.
We're going to talk about scheduling. I mean, come on. And then you get them in Hilton the year after.
And Kansas down at 17.
I don't know if Kansas even has the merit to be 17.
That might just be based on the,
yeah.
You can't keep them out of the top 25. This is just Bill Self.
You're going long on not caring about. I'm gonna go. I'm short selling Kansas. Like I'm really out on them. I love Bill Self, but I am out on. It's just they're a little bit like Alabama football, where they've lost all of their advantages. Like, everybody's paying the players now. Like Self.
But you still have one thing that most don't, and it's the best
fog out
game day environment in the country.
No doubt, and it is. Anybody who's been there.
But that is becoming less and less important for these players because it's all about those dollar signs, baby. It's all about the Benjamins.
Where did the just curious, other Big 12 teams, was Baylor in it? Because they had a pretty good offseason.
Nope, they're not in the top 25.
Baylor is not.
Okay.
Arizona is 11.
Arizona, okay.
So how many Big 12 teams ranked ahead of Iowa State? Arizona's 11.
Because Iowa State's
Texas Tech 7.
4th
BYU's
or 5th.
3. Houston is 2. So yeah, they have 5 Big 12. He has 5 Big 12 teams in the top 13, and then Kansas at 17, and no other Big 12 team ranked.
Crazy. Okay. After this, I'm gonna go and get my tee shot, get all teed up for.
Yeah, and the estrogen blocker.
Yeah, I need it. It was just a bad, like, so her teacher.
You're still on this? I thought we got away from you.
Teacher says, "Oh, this is gonna be such a sad day." And I was like, I have to get out of here before I cry.
This isn't even your firstborn.
No, it makes it worse when it's the second, though.
Why?
Because it's everything's the last time. I'm not having another one.
Okay.
That's expensive.
Maybe you should hold her back.
I already did that once.
Do it again.
Well, my friends at Game Day Men's Health, they're going to help me so I don't cry about this shit anymore, right? I'm going to walk right in there. I'm going to say, double the dose of testosterone. I need it. I'm kidding. I wouldn't do that. Because
Shoot it right into my tear duct.
They wouldn't do that because everything is very safe there. My own doctor actually told me you're better off doing this stuff than because they give testosterone injections at like doctor's offices too. But he was like, they actually like monitor it closer and stuff. So it's a really good safe place to do it.
Compared to like taking pills on your own?
Yeah. Oh, you don't want to do that. No. I know a guy, I'm not going to tell you who prior to going to game day, he now goes to game day. He was getting testosterone injections on the black market.
Oh, my God. I know people that do that with Ozempic, like the Ozempic knockoffs.
Really? And they're just putting it into their body.
Yeah.
Because no questions asked. Getting a shipment from like China.
That is dangerous.
These syringes just coming in the mail.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Game Day Men's Health, they'll do it safely for you.
Stay away from that, kids.
They have a great process. They do your blood like once a month, check up on you, all that good stuff. Same with our friends at Freedom Tire. You want to stay safe. You want to stay safe driving. I'm heading down to the Lake of the Ozarks this weekend.
What?
I'm going to be down there doing the show on Monday, FYI.
You're kidding me.
No, I'm not. We always take the girls after they get out of school for like 3 days. Go down and stay with Nana and Papa. Well, you sounded like really surprised there.
I didn't know you'd be heading down so soon.
We always go Memorial Day, but Memorial Day was all jacked up this year because it was so early. So yeah, we're going on Saturday morning, baby. Going down to the Redneck Riviera. You and Kristen ought to come to sometime with us.
We've been to the Ozarks. I don't ever need to go back, to be honest with you.
What's your problem with it? You don't like lakes and bars and boating and?
I didn't really have that experience when we were there. We were with my wife's parents and her parents, who are very religious.
Oh, you didn't enjoy it. No. You got to come down with me.
We did go to that theme park though, Silver Dollar City.
Oh, you didn't go to the real Ozarks.
And
you went to like Branson.
So, yeah, Branson. That's
Branson
where we went.
sucks. You didn't even go to the good lake.
And you go to Silver Dollar City, and you walk in the park, and they start every day with singing the national anthem and the Pledge of Allegiance, and they say a prayer like over the loudspeaker. That's how the whole day starts. Which seems right up your alley.
You need to go to the Lake of the Ozarks, not Branson.
We went out on some riverboat. It was like a riverboat dinner.
You didn't experience anything. No wonder you hated it. I would never go back there either. Cheers to the freaking weekend. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get everything packed up, and we got a little mini Turtles softball Friday night. Little Coach Van Winks. Team's looking good.
Chris has got me addicted on something that I haven't done in a while, by the way.
Who did?
That?
C-Dub. Sunflower seeds.
Oh, yeah.
I'm back on them.
You're chewing them again?
Yeah, back on the chew.
I have about half a bag of seeds every game.
I bought you a new one for tomorrow.
Nice. What flavor?
Ranch, of course.
Attaboy.
Well, I'm all alone again. Wife is up in Minnesota for a wedding.
Fly to Kansas City. I'll pick you up on the way down.
No. I got to be here for my dog. It's her 8th birthday today.
Oh.
It's Nori's 8th birthday, so I'm going to be celebrating with her.
Girl. What are you guys going to do?
Oh, we'll probably hit the pool. It's her favorite thing now, going in the pool.
You let your dog in the pool, but you wouldn't let my kids?
Well, yeah, my dog's a lot cleaner than your kids.
That's true. So you're just going to sit around and order Outback all weekend and just hang out. There's really no sports on. Unless you want to watch baseball.
Yeah, what's going on this weekend?
I mean, the
It's,
NBA playoffs,
NBA,
but
Pacers tonight.
The
right?
Fever played their first game without Caitlin Clark last night and lost.
14 people show up.
Well,
Sorry,
the
that
thing
was
is,
a
though,
rude
like
remark. I
Caitlin
shouldn't have
Clark's
said that.
still very visible. Like she's on the bench, she's going on. It's not like she's not there.
Arguing calls.
Van Wilk just hates Caitlin Clark because she went to Iowa.
Fan. It's all right.
It's disappointing though because I think so. Next weekend is supposed to be the rematch with the Sky on CBS.
I
And
really hate
I
the
don't know
Chicago Sky.
I don't know that Clark's going to be back for that game.
I really hate that team.
And if you're her, do you really want to rush back for that game?
No, because they're just going to try and hurt you.
Yeah, I think so too. By the way, we did get some closure from the WNBA. I'm sure you've heard. There was a longer discussion about this yesterday on Murph and Andy, but there was no racist chant or anything like that the WNBA or the Fever found.
I'm sure all those media members that
oh god
completely blew that first release out of proportion are doing the same with this.
I did see one person from ESPN apologized for what she said. Like the thing is that so many people just took that as, oh, it happened. There was no, oh, well, this allegedly happened. It was, oh, this happened. It can't happen. We can't have that. I feel bad for Fever fans. Like I really did. They get a horrible rap around the WNBA, and I don't know that any of it is founded. Every fan base has some bad seeds. Every fan base is going to have people out there saying stupid shit on Twitter. But I really don't think that the Fever fan base is any different than any other fan base out there.
No, they're just in the middle of this
culture
war that is bullshit that grifters are blowing out of proportion on both sides. It's the reality, unfortunately. Matt, what are you doing all weekend?
What am I doing? Nothing really. Not much. My cousin
Sounds exciting.
My cousin's gonna come down.
Absolutely nothing. I'm gonna stare at the wall.
My cousin's coming. We're gonna throw back some beers.
No.
Chew on some sunflower seeds.
Should be a nice weekend. You know, I got the garden planted and
how's the garden?
It's great. Got some vegetables in there. Got some a raspberry plant. So
you have a raspberry plant?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll bring you some fresh raspberries this
I got
summer.
strawberries, so we can trade.
Nice. Well, maybe you'll make a little smoothie or something.
That'd be fantastic. By the way, speaking of that, I went to Lua.
Yeah.
Lua Brewing?
Yeah,
Great
one of our
spot.
good partners.
Best burger in Des Moines.
They make those, they're like sours. They make them as like slushies.
Oh.
Have you ever had one of them?
No.
Like a beer slushy?
Yeah, so they make really good sours.
Kind of what they're
And
known for.
I sent you a picture of it last Friday, Chris. You're like, what the hell is that? Looks like you're drinking wine.
Well, I mean, you're out here, you're eating skinless brats, you're drinking beer slushies, you're in skinny, cut-off jeans. What have you become? You used to be a real man.
Oh, I'm still a man, baby.
I don't know that you are.
Well, regardless.
A lot of foo-foo stuff.
Matt, I'm
going on
wondering
with
if we could like make some sort of an alcoholic drink with our fresh fruit from our gardens.
Oh my God! Look at you. What are
Ferment
you?
it.
Yeah.
Ferment our fruit. Yeah.
You really
in.
do need that estrogen blocker, dude. Get into game day right now.
Well, I'm leaving. I'm going to game day right now, baby.
One of our commenters says T is for transition. Williams is transitioning.
Transition your ass. All right. patio tour tomorrow. Matt, where are the boys at tomorrow? I'm going to go out to that tomorrow.
Oh, they're at Guest House Tavern and Oyster out in West Des Moines, Hawkeyes area. So.
All right. Murph and Andy will be out there, so go out and hang out with them. We've really a new. I listened to it already while I was getting the kids out today. Bigger Than 12 is.
I
really
listened to it as well. Good show.
Yeah.
They hit even more sides of what's going on with this Greg Sankey trying to drown the Big 12.
And then, of course, Legends and Listeners will be live today at 3, as we already told you. So put that on your calendar. We do think it'll be a newsy day in college athletics in some capacity, so those guys are going to go live right here on Iowa Everywhere. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you,
you
Chris.
Guys are the best.
Thank you, Matt.
Fairway Meat and Grocery
Thank you,
in the Channel
listeners.
Seed Studios here on Iowa Everywhere.